There's one of my friends here today that brought this guitar today. This is my hero of all time, guitar players extraordinaire, Mr. Gary Moore, rest in peace. I wanted to do a tribute to him, much like we've done to Clapton, Stevie Ray, Rory Gallagher. It goes on. The list goes. Muddy Waters, Jaco Pastorius. It just goes on forever. But this guy right here is the guy that got me into music fully, and my style of playing, my attitude, all that comes because of seeing this guy opening for Rush, who I went to go see back in 1983, or it was the '84 tour. Rush T-shirt on, plenty of beers in me. Rush, Rush, Rush. I go in there and I see this guy open up the show. I didn't care about Rush after that. I was there to see Gary Moore, and he changed my life. And he was playing that guitar right there, and I told myself, man, I'm changed. So everything I did was Gary Moore, Gary Moore, Gary Moore. I wanted to, and then when I got hired at Fender, when I took the tour for the first time in 1987, we have these big conveyor belts up on top that go through all the bodies drying and stuff, hundreds of them. And I saw about 150 bodies in a row, Fiesta Red. And that's the first thing I thought, that's a Gary Moore guitar right there. Gary Moore, Gary Moore. So it was like in my head. And when I got hired there, because that's when I knew I needed to get in there, I said, someday I want to be able to build a guitar for Gary. Oh, here it is right here. I miss you, baby. This is it. It's Gary's 1961 Stratocaster. Apparently had been painted over. We don't know the full story of it, but my thought is, and I heard stories, maybe you can confirm this, a lot of guitars in the early days were sent back to Arbiter, guitars for refinish. And that's what we're thinking might have possibly happened, because it has another version of Fiesta Red or Dakota Red that was underneath this finish. Because the story is that everybody used to send guitars back to Arbiter. They wanted it to be Hank Marvin. Everybody wanted a Hank Marvin color guitar, and this was really close to his color of his guitar. So that's what the story that I'm sticking to. Of course, we can't ask Gary now because he's gone. But I just wanted to pay homage to him by doing this guitar as close as I could. I got to come out to the UK to visit with the family and his guitar tech at our Fender offices in the UK, and got to take the guitar apart. I was really nervous, too, because it was like, there's my hero's guitar. He brought the strap. He brought everything, and I copied everything. I brought a little sprayer to spray the colors on blocks of wood so I can get the color right. So when I went back home to make the prototype, I could get the color as close as I possibly could, and I think I nailed it. And even the wear and everything on the back, the neck had a really weird wear pattern where it still had lots of lacquer on it, but the sides are really, because his hands would just rip the paint off this thing when he played. So everything is exactly the way you see his guitar. That's how I made this guitar. And I also included 2 eras of Gary's straps. Before he died, he was using the strap lock, DiMarzio strap locks, white. But I also wanted to give back to the guy that wanted to be Gary Moore in 1983, like myself, the leather strap with the studs on it. So I included both straps into the case, which I designed a case for it as well with the Gary Moore official logo, that inspired me, and it's all on there. And it's just another way to say thank you for the music and for everything that he did for musicians.
Part of this journey, part of John's journey to getting this project done, first of all, it took about 7 years, right, from the initial ask to actually getting it done. But a story he won't tell is once we basically got it approved and we found out what the last changes were, we drove down to Brighton and we visited with Gary at his site, at the grave site where he was resting, and John brought the guitar, and I thought he would just, stand there for a little bit, kind of just say, okay, I did this, great to see you. He was there for at least 45 minutes to an hour, having a conversation. I started to record it, then I deleted it. I thought it was funny. He was having, it was a very emotional thing to watch, and John was talking to him. And it's just the passion for the project, the passion for the man, the passion for the music.
Yeah,
came through in the guitar.
I even got to. I had to do it for myself. It was something I could very easily share it on social media, but I won't do it out of respect for the family. But I actually put the guitar right next to his gravestone, next to it, and I took the picture for myself. And It was really special to be able to do that.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to make him cry. And here's another one that's reflects on the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, since I was in my Irish roots mode, another idea came to mind for NAMM 2 years ago now, I think it was. When we visited Ireland, my first time there, and we got to walk over the Halfpenny Bridge, which is right there in Dublin. And we can just imagine all the people that walked over that bridge, the millions of people over the years. But one of the famous photos that I saw was U2 when they were first starting out, standing on the edge of the bridge right there. And then later on, I'm searching through YouTube and I find Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy filmed one of his videos there. So I had to find that exact spot where that piece was broken off, and I think they welded it back on, but where he was at, I wanted to just touch that spot. I was so like into like that whole thing. And they replaced the boards that went over the bridge with like a metal grating now is what it is, and put like asphalt over the top of it. So it's very sturdy and strong now, but all the old boards were intact, and they kept all those boards. Somebody had bought those boards up and been sitting on them. So Mike Bourne, our wood guy at Fender, told me, hey, there's a guy in Ireland that's got some of these pieces of wood from the Halfpenny Bridge, and before he could finish, I said, I want it. I want to do it. Give it to me. So we flew over there and got to see the boards. I got to hand pick the boards out that I wanted to do, and I actually made two guitars, a Telecaster and a Stratocaster, with the wood exactly the way as that wood. I didn't want to do anything to it except after we cut it out, I had to age the side to make sure that it matched with the front and the back, the same look. And it wasn't easy to do, but I did it, and it came with all the holes in it. The nails are still in there. The screws, but I had to kind of grind them down a little bit because I don't want you guys to have to go get a tetanus shot by cutting your hands on the thing. So it's buried in there, but you can see it in there. And I was even able to obtain the actual Halfpenny bridge coins. It cost half a penny to cross that bridge back in the day. And I found a couple of them from the 1800s, and that's what's embedded right underneath the bridge of the Stratocaster and the Telecaster to signify that it's the Halfpenny guitar. And it was one of my favorite projects ever to work on. Current. This year, 2018, 2004 was the first version of the Stevie Ray Vaughan that came out. I was told, we're never going to do this again, man, so do them good. We'll never hear about it again. 2018, Mike Lewis comes to me and says, hey, we're going to do a Stevie Ray Vaughan again. I'm like, what? But we're going to do a Jimmy Vaughan. We're going to do a Vaughan Brothers set. I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool, but I thought we told everybody that we couldn't do it. You know, the exact same guitar again, and we started thinking about it. It's like, maybe we should do it a few years earlier than what it looked like when he died. So that, like, okay, well, that would probably work, because then people won't be getting the same guitar. You know, so I did some research and started looking back, old videos, old magazine articles, which I still had, and looking for the guitar, and I found the one that I wanted to recreate. It's about 15 to 18 years before what it was, the state that it was in when he died. And I copied that guitar, the best that I could do it, as close as I could. And after I matched up with the pictures and everything, it looked pretty damn close.
But what did we get to do that you didn't get to do the first time? We went to Austin.
Yeah. See, like I said, the first time I didn't get to see the Stevie Ray Vaughan. But Mike cordially invited me to go to Austin, meet with Jimmy, to see Jimmy's guitar. And I'm like, yeah, that'll be cool to see it. Guess what? He brought Stevie's guitar as well. So I was just like, oh my God. I finally got to hold the guitar that all I could see was Richard McDonald and Mike Eldred were holding the guitar and filming it and everything. But I got to, and these guys, I didn't tell you this, but him and Jimmy went to lunch for a while Mark Curley and I were taking pictures of the guitar, Jimmy's guitar. And I go, they're gone? Yeah, they left. So I grabbed Stevie's guitar and I plugged it in, started playing it. And the thing was just like unreal. I mean, the action was way off. Hadn't been set up or played for many years, but I can honestly say I played Stevie's guitar. And it was just like something I'll never forget. It just made me feel. Now, after we started building the guitars, now I had a big smile on my face because I got to play Stevie's guitar. So it's just a way of giving back to Stevie, who well-deserved, but Jimmy even more so, well-deserving his own guitar in his own right. And it was really another labor of love to be able to do that guitar.